The next update for Mevo Multicam has been released. Version 1.5 hit the App Store and Google Play Store for both iOS and Android, and we have some wonderful upgrades, some additions, new features that we get to play with in the Multicam app. Now, there are also a couple of bug fixes that they released in this version, one of which is that endless spinner when configuring a Mevo camera. I will say, after the update yesterday, I went ahead and reconnected some of my cameras, and I still got an endless spinner on connection. It did connect like it always does, but you have to cancel out of it, see that it's connected, and then go and go back in. But the updates, the new features we have on Multicam 1.5 are where we want to highlight this video. So let me show you. There's going to be a battery indicator inside every camera tile. You see on the screen here that I have 94% on this one, 97% on this one, and you can see this one is 12%, and it shows that it's charging. This is a very handy feature. The ability to see which cameras are charging, which cameras are not, and what their percentage is seriously something that's a nice upgrade for version 1.5. Second thing I'd like to show you, though, is the ability to reorder your cameras and your graphics. I'll show you in the camera tab first. You can see that there's still this three-dot ellipsis where you go into different features of that particular camera. Tap there, and we have a new option now called Reorder. If I tap on Reorder, it's going to give me the choice to reorder all of the cameras I have in play right now. So I can take this one and slide it over here. I can take this one and slide it up here. For those of us who set up cameras that need to run left to right across a stage or across a field, this is a very welcomed addition. Thank you, Mevo team, for putting this in the Multicam 1.5 update. It's easy, it's intuitive, it works very well. Have not seen any issues with it as I've played with it over the past couple of days. I can now choose Done Reordering, and my cameras are in order. Well, actually, these cameras are not in order. I don't like the way it is, so I'm going to choose it again. We're going to slide this one back over here, and this one back up here. That feels a little bit better. The third new feature we have in Multicam 1.5 is the big new feature we have in Multicam 1.5, and that is picture-in-picture. It is one of those features that's been on the coming soon list on the Mevo page for a long, long time, longer than a lot of us can remember, but it's finally here. And so let's look at what picture-in-picture is going to be like in 1.5. I will say this. Instead of just throwing us a lower third kind of rectangle picture-in-picture, they actually gave us great options for this feature. When we go into adding a new element, so the blue plus on the bottom left of Mevo Multicam, we now have another choice called picture-in-picture. If I tap on that, I see all of my cameras, and I'm choosing the one that will be the in-picture part. So the one that I choose at this step will be the smaller version of what I'm choosing to put. Now, notice the wording. Select the camera view you would like to have in your picture-in-picture frame. So I'm putting this in frame. I go next, and now it gives me the option to rename the graphic, which is a clue for us. We're going to find these in our graphics tab once we've built them. They won't be a new camera input, they'll be in the graphics input, so that I can actually run graphics behind this picture-in-picture. I can run multiple camera shots, obviously, but the ability to do either is a great touch in adding this feature. I can re-choose my source here if I want to, but if I click there, I'll just go to the previous screen. And then you can see that I have aspect ratios. I can choose this to be a square or a circle, a portrait, or a landscape. I can resize these to be as big or as small as I want. That's a nice feature. I really like the ability to resize this. And then to be able to place these in the different presets around the screen. That will feel very familiar for those who are coming over from the single cam app and you're used to moving those lower thirds or over the shoulders in different places around the screen. But that's not the really good part of picture-in-picture. The part I skipped over here for the position and size area is free placement. When I tap that, I get a resizable window around my picture, and I can move it anywhere on the screen. I'm no longer limited to preset placement on the screen. So I can take this, I can choose to have that as a portrait. I may have to line myself up in that shot. You have to be careful there because it's a very thin portrait, but then I can resize it all the way up to the full height of this screen. Keep that over on the left-hand side. I get a stroke color or a border color. I have many presets for that. I can choose to eliminate that altogether. You notice that my corners have a little bit of a radius. I can increase that, or I can remove it altogether. And that gives me a picture-in-picture overlay that can be teamed with a graphic or another picture. And I'm going to show you how that's going to pan out here in just a second. Let me get back out of this. I don't want to add that as another graphic because I've already set up some in my graphics tab. All right. I have this one, and this one. And you can see we're layering these graphics. I can have all of these set up how I want them. Now, if I want to take this one, edit my camera source and say, oh, I want this camera source in there instead. And then I can have this one, edit this camera source, and I want to put this one in there instead. Now I have all three of my camera views pointed at my output, and I can stream three views. If I have three different people, if I have three different events happening on screen that I want to show all the time, I can run it just like this. But if I don't necessarily like that, and I'd rather have this background, I can layer this on top. I can edit it and resize it so it fits within that graphic. This would actually be a decent halftime shot. Train one of my cameras on the tunnel where the kids are coming back out, have my logo for the athletics department on the screen. So there's a holder there after the bands are finished playing. You have that 5 or 10 minutes left of halftime when the kids aren't back yet on the field yet. And this is actually a pretty good shot to keep. I've just got that one small shot so folks can keep an eye on what's coming up. But my graphic is up. It's a great combination. I love having the picture-in-picture with such great choices. Multicam 1.5 picture-in-picture is the big new feature. Get in there and play with it. Tell me in the comments how you're going to be able to use it in your live stream.